So Marvel must have been kicking themselves after they saw the trailer to Jennifer Lawrence's latest star vehicle, Red Sparrow. After all, these guys have had the character of Black Widow for years in their films and their cinematic universe, and they never really gave Scarlett Johansson her very own solo project despite many fans asking for it. Well, thankfully they finally decided to give her one in the year of 2020. Nice. But thankfully, Red Sparrow's release isn't gonna beat them up too much, considering the fact that they prefer their spy thrillers to be much more fun and simple. Whereas Red Sparrow is a much more somber, much more dramatic affair, as it is based off a novel by an ex-CIA agent who prefers his spy thrillers to be a bit more serious and a bit more pensive. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, especially as this film does cover some very dark material, namely in the form of sexual assault. So if you don't want to learn more about it, I'd recommend checking out my written review. For everybody else, let's dive in to Red Sparrow. Our protagonist comes in the form of Dominika, played by Jennifer Lawrence, who's a Russian ballerina who suffers a major career-ending injury. This is doubly problematic for her since she is, one, housed by the state, and two, she has a mother that is incredibly ill and relies upon this state-funded welfare and medical care. So thankfully, salvation comes in the form of her uncle Ivan, who is played by Matthias Schoenaerts, and he definitely looks like a Vladimir Putin knockoff. Type his name up in Google and you'll see what I mean. Anyways, Uncle Ivan offers young Dominika an opportunity to get all the money that her mother needs. All she has to do is just seduce an enemy of the state. No problem, you would think. Well, she sees something that she's not supposed to, i.e. an assassination, and after that she's given a terrible choice. Get executed or join the Sparrows, an elite group of Russian agents who are taught in the art of seduction via their very own whore school. Those are not my words, folks. That's the actual film itself calling it whore school. But not long after Dominika's training is she roped into her very first assignment, which is to hunt down and track an American by the name of Nate Nash, played by Joel Edgerton, who has a mole in the Russian government. Dominika's job is merely to find Nate, seduce him, and get him to cop up whatever he knows about this mole. Hijinks and espionage ensues after that. So, on paper, this sounds like a really good setup for some very interesting, very somber, ponderous take. Especially, it seems like a much more darker take on the Kingsman formula of teaching a young protege how to be a spy. Just remove all the wacky hijinks and action and crazy music out of it. So what you're left with is basically a regular spy movie? Yes, but you also have to deal with a shit ton of sexual assaults. And this is where the movie doesn't really work for me. I've seen many films discuss this subject with a little bit more finesse and understanding, namely The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, both the original and its remake, as well as the TV series of Jessica Jones on Netflix. Unfortunately, this film doesn't want to talk about the post-traumatic stress that comes from an assault like that. Instead, it wants to make this all about Dominika's journey to recover her agency. But this is a double-edged sword, as you really need to be sold on this character if you want her to see her succeed, and also to buy that this is exactly what she wants. And unfortunately, the film isn't very well written to give you that journey. Helping you out a little bit is the fact that Jennifer Lawrence is a very, very good actress, and she does sell you on many scenes whenever she's in danger and whenever she's plotting to get out of danger. Unfortunately, she does have a very, very heavy Russian accent that keeps dropping in and out from scene to scene. And so sometimes it comes across as just downright comical. And keep in mind, she's not the only one with this problem. Other actors in the piece do suffer from a bit of this accent flipping as well, namely from Charlotte Rampling and Jeremy Irons. Irons in particular has a really bad Russian accent. cooking up, but hey, they didn't want to go with his British accent, so what the hey. But unfortunately, this really comes down to writing, and this film is just overblown with dialogue that just adds to a whole lot of nothing. In its defense, though, it does try to set up a very, very, very good narrative twist towards the end that I do feel that it was properly earned and it was properly set up. Unfortunately, it's a film that's over 2 hours long, specifically 2 hours and 15 minutes long, and it just takes way too damn long to get to where it needs to go. And once this is all said and done, I can't say that I was enjoying myself. Part of it is the sexual assault that just keeps rearing its ugly head from scene to scene. Sometimes it almost comes across as a parody in certain sequences, which is not what I want to see. But I will at least give the film a degree of credit that none of the scenes felt exploitative, the way films from the 1970s or the 1980s that would just use sexual assault as a means to get a sex scene in and make it look attractive. The film does have respect for Jennifer Lawrence. After all, it is being directed by Francis Lawrence. No relation, but he is the guy who directed all the Hunger Games sequels. So the pair do have a very good relationship with each other, and it's what allows Jennifer Lawrence's autonomy not to feel, you don't feel that icky watching it. Nonetheless, I don't think that it was interesting to watch, nor do I think it was a pleasant experience at all. And what's more, there's one character in there that I just couldn't get over just how poorly written he was, and that's Joel Edgerton's character. See, he's supposed to be the American, but he's constantly referred to as the handsome American, and he's able to suss out Jennifer Lawrence's identity immediately. Oh, and Jennifer Lawrence's character is Jennifer basically looks at him as the only character that she wants to have consensual sex with. Did I mention that this book, the original book that this film is based off, was written by an ex-CIA agent? Kind of an important detail. Anywho, if you're more into films in the mold of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, this film might be right up your alley. But me personally, I just didn't find that much interest in it, and it just slogs on for way too long, and it's just downright unpleasant to watch for most of it. I think most people would get more of a kick out of this as a rental more than anything else, so I'd avoid the theaters for this one, guys. 2 out of 5 stars, skip it for now, and at the very least, it's got some good cinematography and some good visuals. Other than that, forget about it. I'm Christopher Jaramillo, and I'll see you at the lobby.